And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that duct tape from times gone by, because we have returned with the grand finals of ESL Open Cup number 192 Americas, papi, Americas. Of course, your weekly dose of ESL Americas StarCraft. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our first finalist. We have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player, currently teamless, but he's the ESL Masters Summer runner-up. It is GuMiho, one of the best Terrans in the world, going for the low ground 2-Rax opener here. Again, this has been very trendy amongst Terran players in general, and GuMiho is going to be adopting it as well. Meanwhile, back at home, Dark going for a hatch first. It's going to be a hatch. Should be a hatch gas pool here from our Zerg player. And GuMiho can be a really unpredictable opponent. He is so hard to read at times. Like, obviously he can do these standard builds like the 2-Rax opener, of course, but he can also mix things in like a Rax factory on the low ground into expansion. He can go 2-port BC. GuMiho can be really unorthodox and really quirky as a player, so we'll see if Dark can keep up with him. Again, they faced off many times in the past, so I'm sure Dark is aware of how insane GuMiho can be. But that's also why I love casting GuMiho, because he's a breath of fresh air, a very unique player amongst the sea of standard meta. As we have our first 2 Reapers on the way. So Dark, upon scouting this, he should be staying on 2 bases. So Dark, he doesn't pull out of gas, so he's going to be prioritizing link speed. He's going to be getting his first 2 queens, and should be getting his 3rd and 4th queen as well. The reason why you don't want to take a 3rd base in this position is because GuMiho can continue Reaper production if he sees you expanding, and he will deny your base. There is no way to get your 3rd base up and running if GuMiho commits to additional Reapers. So Dark is going to have to respect the Reapers here of GuMiho and stay on 2 bases a little bit longer. Again, that is the power of the low ground 2-Rax. Meanwhile, the Reapers are going to be dancing with the Lings. 1 Ling already goes down, so far a decent trade here for GuMiho. The Queens just now pop out, and Dark should be able to fend off these Reapers for the time being. Meanwhile, GuMiho is transitioning. He's expanding on the low ground. He is getting his add-ons as well. Again, only 3 Reapers are necessary for GuMiho. That's all you need for map control. Behind this, we have a 3rd Rax on the way. This could be a 4-Rax follow-up, which we haven't seen in quite some time. It's kind of fallen out of favor. Cure used to love 4-Raxing, but same with Beyond as well, but that has kind of fallen off. So far, only 3 Raxes here from GuMiho. So there are pros and cons to this, as the Reaper does dip into the natural base, and it does get another drone. Ooh, so far, some good damage is done here, but it looks like GuMiho is overextended. He has lost a couple too many Reapers. 2 Reapers have already gone down, and only 1 manages to escape as Reaper gets out of the main. Ooh, he did see the lair. Very fast lair from Dark. And what is this lair going to be for? I wonder. It looks like a Roach Warren may be thrown down here at the natural. So it could be 2-base Roach. If gases are taken, this could be 2-base Muta. What's important, though, is that GuMiho did see it. He is aware of the fast lair, and he's going to be rechecking momentarily. Meanwhile, behind this, it is not a 4-Rax. It's only 3 into the factory. So GuMiho is going to have an abundance of Marines. He's going to have a big portion of Marines to work with, and he can be quite threatening with it, but because it's only 3 Raxes instead of 4, he's not going to be too committed. He can vie for map control, he can clear up creep, he can kill overlords, but there's no pressure on GuMiho to really force his way into any of these bases. So should just be some aggression, some pressure, but not too committed from GuMiho, as he's, working his way up from here towards those medevacs. GuMiho is moving out, and is Dark ready for this? This may not be committed, but we have Stim. Stim is done in a couple of seconds, and we don't have anything other than these queens. Dark is in some trouble. He has to consolidate his army. He brings the queens forward, but one goes down. There's not enough energy for transfuse. Second queen, third queen is going to fall as well, and this is already too much damage. GuMiho catching Dark, completely exposed. He can now head towards the mineral line. Roaches are coming out. It looks like Dark is going to be able to barely hold on. Will lose even more overlords. Dark will survive, but he lost so much. I mentioned earlier, there's nothing pressuring GuMiho from trying to kill his opponents. He doesn't have to go into a mineral line. He doesn't have to threaten a base. But getting, what was that, 5 queens? 5 queens and 2 overlords? Like, this is insane. Dark is on the back foot. Behind this, he has roach speed on the way. He was cutting corners by not making any lings. He also wasn't able to scout the follow-up. And GuMiho has found himself in a beautiful position. Again, looking at the unit loss tab, he only lost 5 Marines. He kept the majority of his forces alive. He can now meet up with the medevacs. And now suddenly this army is so much more threatening because he can stim to his heart's content. He has medevacs to support his army, to regenerate, to top him up. Dark is on the back foot. He's working on double evo chambers. He's rushing into an infestation pit. Oh my god. I'm sure that's going to be for infestors, but we'll see if he can live long enough to make any infestors because GuMiho, he's arrived with the second wave. Only 1 queen in position. Roaches are being targeted down, one after the other. And it's just too much. GuMiho, he just snowballs out of control. GG gets called, and GuMiho takes game number 1. GG, well played. Dark just cutting too many corners. He wasn't making any lings. He was, yeah, just being very greedy early on. Not really respecting what GuMiho could be up to. Not really respecting his build. And, yeah, just like that, GuMiho, he just got too much damage done with his first push, and his second push ended the game straight up from there. GG. GG, well played. GuMiho, solid game 1 here, does put a point on the board. But I don't expect our next games to go this way, because up next is Ancient Cistern, a map that's much larger, and it's much more difficult to be as aggressive as GuMiho was on Royal Blood. Oh. Here we go, but a good start here for GuMiho, a game that he needed to take as well. I do favor Dark coming into this series. Historically, Dark does typically defeat GuMiho, but for GuMiho to come out swinging here in game 1, oh, it does bode well for GuMiho, not so much for Dark. Can he bring himself back into this? As we're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent leading the series 1-0, the South Korean Zerg player, the ESL Master Summer runner-up. It is GuMiho. This time, GuMiho not going for that low ground 2-racks. Not going for the Beyond opener. Is going to be backing off and going for a regular Rax expand instead. Meanwhile, Dark likewise going for a hatch first. Should be a hatch gas pool from Dark. Again, we are on Ancient Cistern. There's no reason to go for any like early spawning pool timing. Ooh, as GuMiho is doing his best Spirit impression. This is not a Rax expand. This is a CC first. A bold move, but I love how GuMiho is playing out this series. Again, he's a very difficult player to predict. And after taking a lead in this series, and because we're on Ancient Cistern, he's assuming that Dark wouldn't go for like a gas first. He wouldn't go for a roach rush. And as a result, GuMiho, he's, yeah, going to be able to get away with a very greedy, very economic opener here. Now, of course, GuMiho is in the dark. He's not going to be SCV scouting. I imagine he's going to be skipping his Reaper as well. He could even go CC into Reactor and skip his first Marine. So very greedy stuff here from GuMiho. And yeah, Dark, he's not fully aware of what's going on. He won't be able to punish this. GuMiho will have a slight lead coming into this game. And, oh, okay, so GuMiho, he won't be going for a Reactor verse. He will still make a Reaper, which makes sense. I was going to say that it's like, it's a really bold thing to be greedy here against Dark, because Dark can be aggressive and he's been known to roach rush before. So this Reaper does show us that GuMiho is respecting his opponent. If he wanted to, he could have been greedy. He could have gone for a reactor first as well. But with this Reaper, he's going to have some scouting information. He's going to be able to get across the map and get a read on what Dark is up to and make sure that Dark doesn't take additional gases and doesn't go all in. Meanwhile, Lings are moving out, so the Reaper has arrived, and is it going to be able to come across these Lings? It looks like it will! One Ling already does go down. The second Ling as well. The other two do go the long way around. They bypass the main attack path, they bypass the Reaper, and they manage to slip into the natural. And can they get an SCV kill? There's nothing at home. We have a reactor, we have a factory being produced. And Dark could get a worker kill. Across the map, GuMiho, he just confirms the third base. Lings have arrived, and one SCV does go down. Oh, can he get a second? He wants it. Oh. He wants that second SCV. Clutch repair, but the second SCV goes down as well. Dark doing so much with so little. We have more Lings on the way. Reaper turns back around, but is prone to being surrounded. Starkey gets another couple of workers, 4 SCVs in total. And even though GuMiho went for a CC first, he gets punished for it. He gets punished, he gets crippled, 4 workers going down, kind of nullifying the advantage that he otherwise would have had. So a great amount of damage here from Dark. Very necessary amount of damage just because of the openers. And behind this, GuMiho is going into mech. Now, the question becomes, did Dark spot this? His Lings were active, and it looks like he did come in from behind with the Overlord. He does see the second factory. He's aware of the mech. Roachhorn is thrown down, and GuMiho is going to be going into battle mech, rushing into Macville accelerators. Relying on a heavy Cyclone Hellion army. And behind this, Dark, he's just rushing into his Roachhorn, getting his third base up and running. He's got plenty of Queens in position. Drones are on the way. And GuMiho's going for a medevac? Interesting. Okay, so as the Overlord goes down, it does spot the medevac before it falls. GuMiho, I think he's going to be going for, yeah, Hellion drop into the main. So Hellions are going to threaten the main base. We have more units going to be threatening the third. But because the Overlord saw the medevac, you can see that Dark's in position. He rallies even more Lings here. He knows the potential here for the drop. And GuMiho is not respecting Dark. He's going for it anyway. Again, he just got scouted. Medevac is coming in. And Dark is in position. He is in position. Forces the pickup. Forces GuMiho back. From here, layers in production. We're working on just saturating our bases. Roaches are moving out. They're going to be bypassing the army, actually. This is going to get a little bit weird. GuMiho, he has to turn back around. As the roaches have arrived. They're going to be working through this depot wall. Yeah, GuMiho does turn back around. And we'll see if Dark can fight this off of creep, bearing in mind that these are slow roaches, but Dark, he did not saturate his third base. He's making nothing but Lings, nothing but roaches behind this. He's going all in. The wall is not a wall. Lings and roaches, they do make their way into the natural. The army's being cleaned up, and Dark is snowballing out of control. He has far too much to deal with. Yeah, the natural is compromised. We do have a tank on the high grounds, and it's doing a lot of damage. Oh my god, it's annihilating those roaches. An insane defense here from GuMiho. He's going to clean this up. And he only loses 10 workers. If it wasn't for that tank, if it wasn't for those big shots on those roaches, then GuMiho may just be dead. But he has a third CC. He's down a couple of workers, yes. But with this third CC, he can rebuild. And yeah, Dark, he has to back off. He has to drone up. Dark is droning, he's saturating his bases, he's going for a Spire, going for Mutas. Hellions, oh god, they bypass the army, they get into the mineral line. Drones are getting roasted. Ay, ay, ay. 8 workers go down. Hyperflight rotors are on the way for Banshee speed. Did GuMiho just kill his own? Oh. I think he just killed his own Deeper for a moment, but it's fine, it's fine. As we do have the Banshee wreaking havoc in the main base, getting a couple more drone kills in the main as well. And was the Spire spotted? Looks like it was. The Spire has been scouted. We have an eBay on the way for turrets. We have Cyclones in production as well. Vikings. GuMiho taking this very seriously. Gaining control of his third. And the mutas are going to give Dark map control. Even though GuMiho had a little bit of momentum there, he's going to go back home. He doesn't have a lot of anti-air. He has one Viking and one Cyclone. His army looks large, but it isn't really. As there we go. We have reinforcements coming in. The turret does not finish in time. Dark turning back around. He gets on top of one of the Cyclones. Gets the second. Oh god, just barely doesn't get the second Cyclone. Hard pickup from GuMiho. Very nice control. He does keep it alive. And he's going to be able to stabilize here on 3 bases. Meanwhile, Dark, he's just saturating his 4th. Heavily droning it up. Taking a 5th base. He knows he has map control because of these mutas. He knows he's safe. We have infestation bits on the way. I'm pretty sure the double infestation bit is a mistake. But regardless, you know, it's on the way for Hive Tech. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And he should be working on Ling Roach Ravager. And +1 melee's on the way alongside +1 range. With the arrival of the Hive, Dark can even work towards a Greater Spire as well. And Dark, he's just, again, expanding as quickly as he can. Trying to get away with as much as possible. Likewise, so is GuMiho. GuMiho throws down 2 CCs. Sensor towers are on the way. We're in for a long game. We are in for a long one. Strap yourselves in. As mutas are going to attempt to harass. But of course, GuMiho is going to be able to hold on here and not really lose too much. 3 SCVs go down and a depot. He's just getting his production up and running. We have 3 more factories on the way. Vikings, tanks. You name it. What's interesting is that we do have a couple of corruptors as well to support these mutas. Dark is now maxed out on Ling Roach Ravager. A couple of Banelings sprinkled in as well. There is no Baneling speed, so these Banelings are not ideal. As Dark is getting ready to push on in, looking to try and catch this army unsieged. Yeah, the tanks are a little bit far back. Ling's going to be closing the distance here. BioZ take down one of those tanks. But it does look like there's a little bit too much Terran to really break through. BioZ do take down another Ravager. Well, when it comes to the battle in the skies, it looks like the mutas and the corruptors go down. And Dark is being forced back. I mean, he was able to kill a couple of tanks and a lot of the Cyclones. He comes in with reinforcements. He's not done. He's not done. He wants to get these Banelings into the mineral line. Banelings are waddling on in. Oof. SCVs are going to go down. And suddenly that makes it worth it here for Dark. Dark, he may be bleeding out units, but, mate, he's up on 83 workers. He can remax and just rally across the map. GuMiho is crippled. He lost a lot of his economy. He's lost a lot of his army. GuMiho is struggling to keep up in the supplies. Wasn't able to get the 4th base up and running. He's trying desperately. He even muled it. Being so greedy here. But this base is going to go down. The mules are going down as well. Roaches are busting into the natural base. There's just not enough Terran. GG gets called. And Dark ties up the series 1-1. We have a series. We have a back and forth. GG. GG, well played. Again, that was a pretty crisp timing there. Dark was able to attack just before GuMiho got his fourth. Just before he got his fourth up and running. That fourth base would have meant that GuMiho would be able to max out and he would be able to keep up in terms of supply and production. But stuck on a 3-base economy, he couldn't. And he didn't quite have his army in position either. He wasn't quite ready for a big assault at that time. So really solid attack from Dark. Ooh, after he was able to take full advantage of his map control, right? Like the mutas, they just gave him so much breathing room, and we saw Dark drone up to 83, get a 4th, 5th, and 6th base, take up into Hive, and max out. Really well done there by Dark. And now we're getting ready for game 3. We have at least we have a back and forth. That's all I ever ask for in these series. I want a back and forth. Don't want it to be one-sided. But where will we go from here? Who's going to take a lead in this series? Who's going to gain momentum in the grand finals? As here we go, we're getting into this, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Dragon Kaiser Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player representing himself. It is GuMiho. And as we get into these finals, as we follow the SCV, as GuMiho is getting ready for a proxy, a shout out to Dave Testa. I should have done it at the start of the finals, so I apologize for the delayed shout outs, but Dave Testa did give us a raid. He did mention earlier that he was just getting ready here, just getting ready for work. He had some IRL commitments to work on, of course, so he couldn't cast the finals, but Dave was covering the rest of the tournament. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for Dave for the raid. Much love, much appreciated. As Dave Testa is also another community caster, does also put in a lot of work for StarCraft, a lot of love, a lot of passion, Thank you, thank you. As we have a really weird opener. Okay, so GuMiho is going for a singular proxy Rax. This is looking like a proxy 111. Are we going to go for a proxy factory after this? I'm curious here. As this SCV is looking a little bit suspect. Meanwhile, Dark did go for a pool first. That was the other interesting thing about what was happening. Dark, he went for a pool hatch gas opener here. I think it was, a gas geyser before the hatchery. And as a result, he's going for a roach rush. GuMiho does have his factory back at home. With only a single proxy Rax, he can assert himself, he can get damage done, but the lings have been revealed. GuMiho is now aware of the pool first. But the Reaper has arrived. The Reaper is going to be able to shut down these lings. But GuMiho, he needs to scout. He needs to confirm whether or not this is just a safety pool first, or if this is an aggressive pool first into roaches. For the time being, GuMiho, he's busy trying to chase down that ling. He misses it. The ling does manage to slip by. And because GuMiho is busy chasing down this ling, he doesn't know how much danger he's in. He's expanding on the low ground. He's got a tech lab on the way. Ooh, for cyclones or tanks. The roaches do move out. Reaper does spot them. And the roaches don't care. They don't care about your Reaper. As Dark is racing across the map, we do have a cyclone on the way, and a cyclone is going to spell an end to this aggression. But really, all Dark wants to do is cancel the natural. All he wants to do is get on top of the natural base, kill the SCV, and cancel this CC. From here, Dark is droning. Dark is working towards a longer game. He will get on top of the SCV. Cyclone does arrive. And can he force a cancel? It is going to be close. Cyclone getting a lock on the Overlord, and the Overlord will go down. A supply blocking Dark. Meanwhile, the Ravagers will help Dark maintain control of the ramp. Oh, a big lock on the Roach. And a Roach goes down. A big loss for Dark. But last, he will force a cancel. This CC is not going to finish. There is no way. There is no shot. And Dark is being cleaned up, but he got the damage that he was looking for. He doesn't get the Cyclone though, so GuMiho, he has quite a bit of map control under his name. Dark is sending everything back home. He's pulling back his Overlords, as GuMiho is looking for more Overlords as well. Behind this, we do have a 1-1-1 setup. Banshees are on the way. Dark, he just has to make sure he has detection. Queens. He's getting ready back at home. Once again, GuMiho, he's looking for stray Overlords. But now though, Dark is able to hold on to his natural. He's fully saturated. We have a lair on the way. We have 3 gases. This should be for roach speed. If we take a 4th gas geyser, then we could try to go into mutas. Meanwhile, of course, this is happening. GuMiho is double expanding, getting 2 CCs and also getting 2 more factories on the way. It is mech. Mech is on the horizon for GuMiho, because of course it is. Ay. Hellions, Cyclones, you name it. Now, GuMiho, he doesn't quite have the economy to sustain all of this production. Not yet. But he's getting there. He's slowly building himself back up. Macfield accelerators are on the way. We were kind of theorizing that if a 4th gas was taken, which it is, it should be a Spire, which it also is. The Spire is on the way. This shouldn't be a big commitment to mutas. Should only be enough for map control, enough to threaten mineral lines and to keep GuMiho in check. Banshee does arrive. Cloak is not done. There is no cloak with this Banshee, so detection is not required. GuMiho is forced back. And Dark is able to hold on to his 3rd base. What's also important is that the Banshee, because it didn't get into the natural base, he hasn't seen the Spire. GuMiho, he didn't see the gases at the natural either. He didn't see the timing of the lair. GuMiho is playing blind. Now, he has plenty of Cyclones, so in a head-to-head fight, he will kill the mutas. But the mutas are not really designed to fight head-on. They're designed to harass, to dance between the bases, to get into a mineral line, to kill workers. And it does take 5 mutas to one-shot a worker. We have 7 mutas on the way, so we have a little bit of leeway. A little bit of wiggle room, in case a muta were to get picked off. And yeah, it's only going to be 7 mutas. From here, Dark should be focusing on his ground army. He's droning, saturating his 3rd. Evo chamber on the way for +1. As GuMiho moves out, the mutas are looking to move in. A lot of creep is receding. It's a lot of Cyclones. This army is pretty threatening. He can kill a lot of these roaches. Big lock-ons. The queens are collapsing on this location. GuMiho is being forced back. At the same time, the mutas, they dive into the natural base, and SCVs are going down. 5, 6 SCVs in total. He collapses. He gets on top of the Cyclone as well. He will get 1. And from here, he can go into the main base. Turret is done in the main, thankfully, for GuMiho. Ooh, Dark does bleed out another one of these mutas. Down to 5. But he got 12 SCVs, and he forced the entire army back home. GuMiho was trying to be active, but he was forced to turn around, and now Dark, he is free to focus on his roach production. His roach army. We have Burrow, tunneling claws as well. Dark looking to be very aggressive here. Unfortunately, there are turrets in position, so tunneling claw roaches aren't going to be ideal. We do scan. And you can see how quickly these Cyclones deal with the mutas. Only 4 mutas remain. But again, they're just keeping GuMiho busy. That's all that matters. And now Dark can focus on this push. Oh, is going to get spotted by the Banshee. Speaking of, Darky makes a beeline for that Banshee, and is it going to go down? Oh, barely is not. Oh, as the mutas are necessary here to clean up this lib. 3 workers go down, a lot of lost mining time. As the Liberator finally does go down, infestation bits on the way here for infestors, for hive tech, even swarm hosts, if Dark wishes to. But there it is. It's going to be for infestors. We have pathogen glands on the way. We don't have a turret in between the bases. They are only in the mineral line, so this is a bold move from Dark. The tank count is getting higher and higher. GuMiho really fortifying himself here on 3 bases. Scan has to be careful. GuMiho. We do see Dark getting on top of the tanks. 1 tank does go down. We may even lose the base as well. That is going to be a cancel. Was this worth it though? A lot of roaches are falling here. Some big tank shots go off. Dark is forced back. Behind this, there's that hive in production. Do we have? I think we do have a couple of. No, sorry. I was like, do we have a couple of infestors? Not yet. Not yet. As pathogen glands is done, it looks like Dark has recognized how heavy the tank count is. She's aware that infestors aren't really the most ideal of units, and there we go. We're going for vipers instead, which will do a great job at just throwing down those blinding clouds and breaking these entrenched positions of GuMiho. The goal here for GuMiho is to take a 4th, and the goal for Dark should be to deny the 4th, more than anything. Greater Spires on the way. Dark droning up to 70 at this point, ideally to around 80 workers. He's getting his 4th up and running, his 5th is on the way. Dark has been slow to saturate his bases, but now he has the freedom to do so. The lineup. As the mutas are finally being hunted down in the corner of the map. Do get cleaned up. What's important is that GuMiho does actually have some Vikings. He's making more. Does catch some roaches as well. Big pickup for GuMiho. You can see Dark trying to get on top of some of those cyclones. Oh, but big tank volleys go off, and Dark is being forced back. As he does back off, we do have infestors on the way. There are those corruptors for broodlords. It does look like, again, Darky recognizes how powerful this tank line is going to be, and he has options. If he wanted to, he could have gone Lingbane Roach Ravager with Vipers and tried to just overwhelm this position. But upon seeing these corruptors, it does look like Darky wants to take a more slow and methodical approach. He wants to, you know, come in here with broodlords instead. He does have to make sure he has a supportive line on the ground, just because there are Vikings, or just enough corruptors as well. Speaking of, 2 more starports on the way. Oh my god, that's a hefty army, Papi. How many tanks is this? 17! We have 17 tanks moving out. 1 Thor as well. The Broodlords are getting ready for this. The Vipers as well. And the Infestors. We do not have Neuroparasite. Only Fungal Growths. Here we go. The Broodlords have arrived. They do pull the trigger. They get 2 tanks for free. They're going to get a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th tank as well. GuMiho racing back home. Was not expecting Broodlords. And he's being cut off. He's being cut off from his bases. He is trapped. A big fungal on these Vikings. Powerbomb as well. Ooh, the Vikings are going down to spells of all things. And this Broodlord timing is just a little bit too good. Nothing shoots up. Nothing else shoots up. Cyclones are cut off. GG gets called, and Dark takes game number 3. Oh my god. GG, well played. GuMiho, he had no idea what he was going into. He had no idea what he was pushing into. As soon as the Broodlords were revealed, he had to turn back. He had to tuck tail and run, and he got caught out. He got caught out on the map. Cut off from his reinforcements. Cut off from his bases. Cut off without anti-air. GG. GG, well played. Dark, 1 game away from taking the series here. GuMiho needs to fight back here and now to try to force the ace match. Oh boy. And this is going to be an interesting one. Our next game is on Neo Humanity. More Cyclones, more Papi. I see in the chat, Dark taking it slow. Oh. That's the thing, you know, Dark, like, he has like an aggressive reputation, but like he can be sensual. You know, he may tie you up, but you know, he's gonna make sure that you like it. Aye. As we're getting into our next game, and yeah, Dark, 1 game away here from taking the entire series. Can he pull it off? Personally, I would love an ace match, and our next map can favor the mech that we've been seeing. Here we go. We are getting into our next game. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo Humanity, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran representing himself down in the series, but not out. It is GuMiho. So the chat just catching up. Was just catching up, and yeah, we are on Neo Humanity, a map that honestly is amazing when it comes to mech. The reason why I say that is because there are a lot of choke points. There's a lot of high ground as well to take advantage of, a lot of ramps. If GuMiho wanted to slow the game down and cut the map in half, this would be the map to do it on. But hold your horses, because GuMiho is going for a 2-axe opener. This is dangerous. Okay, so if you've been tuning into the cast recently over the past couple of weeks, you have been hearing both Asher and I talk about the 2-axe on Neo Humanity, and how obviously the Terrans used to 2-axe on every single map, and players like Bjorn, Maru, and Cure, they have been stopping this on Neo Humanity. The reason why is that, especially against a player like Dark, roach pushes are terrifying on this map, and if you go for a 2-axe, you will be delaying your tank production, you'll be delaying your banshees, you'll be vulnerable here against these 1-1 roach pushes in the mid game. And I worry, because Dark, he does see this ahead of time, he does confirm the opener. We'll see if Dark does go for roaches this game. We'll see if GuMiho can survive if that's the case. Again, this is something that a lot of the other Korean Terran players have just avoided in recent times, over the past couple of weeks. And they'll be going for more standard, just Rax expands on Neo Humanity instead. But we'll see. We'll see, because I may be getting ahead of myself. First Reaper has arrived. Is going to be chipping away at the drone here, at the natural, at the drones even. Dancing with the lings. And one lane does get picked off. But the queens have arrived, and up. Ooh, we barely do not get the drone. Whew. That was close. That was close. Behind this, we can see GuMiho transitioning into his add-ons, into his reactor and his tech lab. Behind this, we do have a 3rd Rax on the way. Interesting. I'm getting Royal Blood vibes. Okay. As the Reapers, they do manage to chip away at that queen. A 3rd base is being taken. And Dark should be able to stabilize from here. Link speed is about to kick in 10 seconds. And once it does, these Reapers, they're not really going to have too much longevity. They do have to race back home to escape, to stay alive. Now, this 3 racks build here from GuMiho, we saw this on Royal Blood, and it did kill Dark. If you remember, Dark was trying to get into roaches, but he was cutting corners. He didn't have any lings. He didn't see this coming ahead of time. And the 3 racks timing here of GuMiho basically killed Dark. It crippled Dark, and then the follow-up drop killed Dark, if you recall. So we'll see if Dark can keep up with this, if he can survive the initial Marine push. Now, Sim is about to finish up with his 3rd rack, so we're going to have an abundance of Marines to work with, and GuMiho is going to be moving out. His goal is to kill Queens, is to allow himself to snowball out of control with his eventual medevac push timing afterwards. But this time, Dark, he has more of an army, and I love this. He's working on just powering through these towers. This will slow down the push of GuMiho, as the Overlord of Dark is coming in, and on Royal Blood, he had no idea what he was up against. Here, he's going to have a better idea, as he does go for the scout, but does pull back. The rocks are knocked down. Dark going for a Baneling nest behind this. He's cutting workers a little bit early on here. He's cutting workers at 48, and instead of going for roaches, we have a Bane bust. Oh boy, here we go. GuMiho is committing to his push. He's moving out towards the left-hand side, and the danger here of pushing through the left-hand side towards this base is that this is a corridor, and you do kind of trap yourself here. Dark can go for a wraparound. He can come in from behind, so GuMiho has to be very careful with how he commits, as Dark is still making nothing but lings. The goal here, Dark, is to clean up this army, to get us around, and to Bane bust afterwards. Here we go. Queens are in position. Dark just bypassing the army entirely. Looking to catch some reinforcements if possible. There we go. Banelings are now on the way. Dark going all in. Who cares about your roach pushes when we can just surround the army instead? And there we go. GuMiho does get caught out. The Marines are being cleaned up. Half the army for GuMiho is now gone. He is going for his own double drop behind this. Again, there are no tanks. Bear that in mind. No tanks, no Widow Mines, no Banshees, no nothing. Only Marines. The Marines are out on the field, and the Bane bust is upon us. Now, there's a lot of potential with this double drop. He could deny the fort. He could maybe get some economic damage done. But I don't think he can survive. I think he dies to this. Here we go. The Banelings are waddling on in. They take down the depot. And the Lings, they do get us around. Good target firing on that last Baneling, but there's just nothing left here to defend. Back across the map. That was a kill, not a cancel on the hatchery. So GuMiho is getting damage done. He is forcing Dark back, but across the map, Dark, he's camping the production. He's killing everything. GuMiho heavily supply blocking Dark. He gets so many of these Overlords. Oh my god. And there we go. Dark, he has to pull the boys. GuMiho getting a lot of worker kills. But here come the reinforcements, and even though he killed 16 drones, he lost everything back at home. 44 workers go down. Again, specifically on near humanity, these counterattacks, they hit so quickly. The rush distance by ground is so short. Whether it's a Roach all-in or a Ling Bane bust, what have you, it just hits so hard. More workers are going down. GuMiho, he's down to 0 SCVs. And he did a lot of economic damage. He killed 22 drones. That's great and all, but Dark, he has more where that came from. GuMiho, he's on some copium. He's muling. How many Marines does he have? He has 8 Marines. 8 Marines and a Dream. And a medevac. Yeah, Stim, of course. I mean, Marines, they can be hyper efficient. They can be insanely efficient, and we can see him getting even more drones, getting some Lings. Threatening the Queens. But there's only so much GuMiho can do with this one drop. At home, he's cleaning up all those Lings. He's muling his heart out. He has 1 worker. He has 1 SCV. Oof. Oh god, as Marines go down. A bit of miscontrol from GuMiho as Dark is getting ready for another assault. He's re-droning, resaturating his bases. He's got more queens on the way. GuMiho has walled off. Reinforcements have arrived. But we have Bailing's speed, and GuMiho, he's just dropping his heart out. He believes, Papi, he believes. You can't take this away from him. He gets a Bailing. Oof. Oh no, he takes a massive Bailing to the face. GG gets called as he loses his army. And Dark will take the series 3-1, becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. GG. Congratulations. For the week 192, Dark will be our champion. GuMiho, he started things off well in game number 1, but we saw in the following games here, Dark was able to really get into his own game, was able to gain a lot of momentum as well. GuMiho was relying on mech, but we saw game after game, Dark was taking advantage of just how slow or just how immobile GuMiho was, how little map control he had as well. Dark was able to just really solidify himself, really stabilize, get into his comfort zone, and snowball out of control, both on Ancient Cistern and on Babylon as well. And here on Near Humanity, we saw something a little bit different. We saw a pretty committed 3-racks from GuMiho, but Dark was able to identify it really early on and completely shut it down. I assumed that he would be working towards roaches, but no, here he just went mass Ling Bane. And again, the big downside, the risky thing about this build from GuMiho, or from Terran players in general, going for this 2-racks, is how little you have to deal with these like big aggressive all-ins, whether it's tanks or Widowmines or Banshees or anything else. You rely a lot on Marines. You rely a lot on scouting, right? It's like, I'm not saying that this is like a build order win or anything like that. Not at all. If GuMiho had identified ahead of time that Dark was just amassing Ling Bane, then we would have seen bunkers. We would have seen a secondary wall behind the natural wall of GuMiho, and again, even one extra layer of defense would have meant that suddenly Dark doesn't bust in. Suddenly he doesn't have enough Banelings to break through the second wall as well, and then GuMiho, he can, you know, stabilize, he can move on from there. But it was unscouted. It was all unscouted. It was all unseen. And yeah, GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Dark. And a shout out to GuMiho, of course, as well, for making it all the way to the finals, for making Dark work for it in the finals as well, for providing for some really good games, and I hope everyone in the chat enjoyed themselves as well. We are done for the morning. That is the conclusion of ESL Open Cup Americas, and we have another cast later on in the evening. WTL. We mentioned it last night, but World Team League is going to be every day for the next week. Got a lot of WTL action ahead of us, and we had an amazing day of StarCraft last night. We had some insane upsets as well. We saw young Yakov popping off against Bunny. We saw as well Coffee popping off against Future. We had a 1-1 between Classic and Strange. A lot of really high quality matches last night, and it's a lot to live up to, and I'm sure we will be able to live up to it tonight. So if you're interested, tonight the match. Oh, hold on, I can show you. I can show you. Shout out to Slowbro in the chat for subscribing with a tier 2 sub. Thank you so much. We don't have too many tier 2 or tier 3s, so thank you so much. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the support that you give us. Thank you so much. As I just switch our scenes over, and we can quickly have a look at what we are covering tonight. All the money that we make, of course, on our Twitch goes towards our tournaments. And tonight we have the Kwangdong Freaks versus Team Roddy. A lot of TVTs. Oof. It's going to be TY versus Uwu Thermal. It's going to be Keen versus Cuckoo, and Su versus Special. So very high quality games going on tonight. Afterwards, we're going to be getting into something a little bit lower profile, but still close when it comes to skill, I feel. Berserker Esports versus Invictus Gaming. It's going to be Battle B versus, I believe that's Sakura, or TATP. Mixu versus Breaking GG, and Dimaga versus XY. Oh, that's I'm looking forward to that. I hope that we make it all the way to that third match, because Dimaga versus XY, that's gonna be so good. I'm a fan of both of those players. I love Dimaga and XY, and I'm sure they're gonna give a beautiful TvZ series there. So as you can see, that is going to be in 8.5 hours. In 8 hours and 30 minutes, we're going to be live with our next broadcast with some more World Team League Code A. And I believe this is tomorrow. Yes, this is tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be the lower bracket matches, Mystery Gaming versus Little Fairy. And of course, the loser of these two matches are going to be facing off as well tomorrow in the lower bracket. So again, a week full of StarCraft. You know, a week full of StarCraft here for WTL Code A, and then I think we have like a week break, and then bam, Code S. Code S will be afterwards. So if you're interested, tune in. You know, try to tune in here tonight for some more Code A action of the World Team League. And again, if you enjoyed this broadcast, if you enjoyed this tournament, ESL Open Cup Americas is a weekly. It is a weekly tournament. Every single week we are here bringing you some Korean or European or North American action. The ESL weeklies are always a lot of fun. Always, always. And with that, we are done. We are done for the night. I see the copy pasta in the chat. Tie me up. Let's go. I want Dark's big, hairy, sweaty arms to hold me tight while he kisses his Valencia trophy like no tomorrow. And I want him to call me my little Zergling. I'm going to scream back, Park Ryung-woo, Park Ryung-woo, as he holds me down and spanks my butt with his big, meaty hands. You're all animals in the chat. You are all animals. Ay, ay, ay. Oh. Chinese scene saving SC2. Pretty much. I mean, you say Chinese scene. SC Boy, it's one organizer or one organizing group where they host World Team League, they host Kung Fu Cup, they hosted the Masters Coliseum last week as well. They're very passionate about StarCraft, and a lot of love to SC Boy and everyone behind that. A lot of love. With that, we are done for the time being. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid, so give them a chance, give them some love, give them some support. If you want to tune into more of the CranKy Ducklings, then follow us on the social medias. !socials in the chat. You can get a link to our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord. We do upload onto YouTube on a daily basis, and we have a Discord server where you can interact with us outside of just the stream. We also have a Patreon. You can see just under me there, we have our Patreon set up. Our Patreon funds our tournaments. Well, I say our Patreon, our everything funds our tournaments right now. But our goal here is to have our tournaments fully community funded, which means we can start like actually making some money. We can, which would be a great stepping stone, a great milestone for us here on the CranKy Ducklings. For the time being, everything does go towards the events that we host and the events that we run. So that's kind of where our priorities lie for the time being. Outside of that, thank you so much for tuning in, thanks so much for watching, thank you so much for your support. We will see you guys in 8 hours for WTL Code A. Outside of that, you can follow me, light_VIP. You can click on the title of the Twitch channel. I do stream from time to time. I was streaming yesterday. I should stream tomorrow, not today though. I need to get some sleep. I'm gonna get some rest in preparation for WTL. Because in 8 hours, I don't want to be tired. I don't want to be tired for it. I want to be high energy for those matches. So I'm going to be getting some rest. But throughout the week, I do stream on my personal channel, just some Zerg ladder gameplay, some Final Fantasy 14, some Diablo 4, sometimes some other games mixed in as well. So if you're interested, you can follow me on my personal channel. Otherwise, CranKy Ducklings all over the place. With that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys later tonight. Until then, hasta luego. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, papi. Bye-bye.